My name's Caitlin Reed, and I'm going to be talking about Planned Parenthood for my forensic speech. I believe this has a significant personal relevance to me because I'm currently almost 9 months pregnant. I am 35 weeks, and while I do not use the services provided by Planned Parenthood, millions of women throughout the country do, and I believe this is a revolutionary type of clinic, a revolutionary movement for women's health and for family planning, and I believe that it needs to be much more supported in this country than it currently is. A little bit of background information on Planned Parenthood itself. It was originally founded in 1917 in Brooklyn, New York by a woman named Margaret Sanger. She believed that the current health care for women in regards to birth control, pregnancy, termination of pregnancy was not up to standard of where it should be. Regardless of the legislations of that time, outlawing certain birth controls, outlawing abortions, Miss Ethel Byrne, and Miss Fanny Mendel came together to form the first Planned Parenthood clinic. Unfortunately, it only lasted about 10 days before it was shut down by the police. The women were jailed for violation of the current laws for about 30 days, and that specific clinic did not reopen. However, that kickstarted the movement of what we know today for women's health, women's rights, and what we have today for Planned Parenthood. There are millions of individuals, not just women, who receive care at Planned Parenthood every year. We will focus mainly on women since this is an issue mainly geared towards women in this speech. However, the services are included, but not limited to the pap smears, the mammograms, the prenatal supplements, OB visits during a pregnancy, birth control options, and abortions. While abortions are on the minority of that scale in services, they are still done. A big push for this clinic is that it is mainly targeting the lower income families and the lower income individuals. It is said that 1 in 4 women in the United States will use the Planned Parenthood service. 3 out of 4 of those women will be of low income families. With that majority of their clientele and their patients being low income, it's revolutionary that these women are getting the care that they need at the price they can afford. They take insurances such as Medicare, no insurance at all, and the copays are very, very low. That is something that needs to be supported in this country, regardless of almost all else, because healthcare in this country is awful when it comes to cost. Insurance is expensive, copays are high, and hospital fees are higher than almost any other country in the world. So in this country specifically, it is very, very important that the clinics that are targeting the low income areas for access to care are supported and they thrive through whatever pandemics, whatever opposition comes their way. The biggest opposition to this type of clinic would be the pro-choice versus pro-life movement. The pro-life movement, they are under the belief that the abortions are bad. Women should not have that option. They are killing children. They are killing babies. Babies are born. They are babies at the time of conception. The pro-choice movement alternatively believes that a woman should have the ability to choose whether an abortion is right for her, that a baby is not formed at the time of conception but later on in the pregnancy, whether it be after a heartbeat, after the first trimester. That is debated heavily. However, the main difference is pro-life believes that abortions are bad regardless. Pro-choice believes that there is some wiggle room as to what is considered a baby, what is considered murder versus what is considered just a removal of cells. Legal actions have been taking place in the United States alone for decades. However, most notably, after all of the progress that had been made with Roe versus Wade for legalizing abortions to a certain point, federally mandating them, mandating them at a state's level. Former President Donald Trump in 2017 did pass legislation that states had the option to block funding at a federal level to clinics that provided abortions. Unfortunately, that did include Planned Parenthood. The reason that this should not be the case and should not go forward is only 3% of Planned Parenthood services include abortions, according to a Scientific American study from 2012. 97% of all of its services are not abortions. They include the things that I've listed earlier: the family planning, the health care, STD testing, vaccinations. Cutting this type of funding is assuring that the lower income families that need these services are not getting what they need. Women are not going to be diagnosed with their breast cancer that could have been found at these clinics. The cervical cancer rates are going to go up higher because women are not going to be going in for the services at the Planned Parenthood where they can afford them to find out if they've got them. The hospital fees charge too much for a lot of families to be able to afford preventative routine maintenance, which Planned Parenthood makes accessible to them. In conclusion, I believe that Planned Parenthood should have more support than it currently does. It is vast majority of its services are beneficial to preventative health, maintenance, and care for all of its patients, and only 3% of its services are abortions. That being said, it's very low risk in far of the pro-life, pro-choice movement, so I'm not sure why this is being targeted as a main thing. And that's all I have for you. Thank you and have a great night.